Hi all, welcome to part 9, module 5 computer networks. This part 9 and 10 we are giving for a topic DSCP, and that is actually not there in the syllabus as per the KTU. But anyway, I am covering because for the sake of completion. Okay, so we already seen the topic we were discussing is the physical address logical address conversion, and two approaches we seen, that is by the reverse ARP protocol, which is a network layer protocol, and then the same process being done by an application layer protocol called the BOOTP. Now DSCP is again an application layer protocol, of course. So the name says that it's dynamic. So something static is there with the BOOTP, particularly that mapping is happening in static way in BOOTP. So that is just changed to a dynamic way, or by the dynamic host configuration protocol, DSCP. So the BOOTP is not dynamic configuration protocol, so that is a limitation we have. So when a client requests its IP address, the BOOTP server consults a table, of course, and matches the physical address of the client with its IP address. So somewhat backward compatible, we will see that, right? Yeah. So that is how it is doing. So this implies that binding between the physical address and the IP address is something that already exists, or it is somewhat predetermined. So it's done in a static way. Now, however, if the host moves from one host to another one, particularly what we already seen, say in mobile computer and all mobile. So what about the mobile host? It keeps on moving from one position on network to another, right? So in that case, what if the host wants a temporary IP? So something whenever it is switching from one place to another, it keeps on asking for an IP, and if you depend it on a predefined table, so every time we are giving something new for that particular machine, right? So you can't depend a table and you can't assign it something permanent. So if it is permanently residing in a particular network, this is fine. But when it comes to the when we started adding mobility to machines, so this is not going to work fine, because by mobility, when it is switching a network from one to another, you can't assign something just from the table that will be something mapped with respect to the older network, right? So that is a difficulty we are having. So the BOOTP cannot handle these situations, because a binding between the physical IP address and physical and the IP address. So physical address and IP address is happening statically, right, and fixed in a table until changed by the administrator. So that is the difficulty we are having. So BOOTP is a static configuration protocol. It is slightly confusing, physical address and IP address. So now it is fine. So BOOTP is a static configuration protocol, right? It's not dynamic in nature. Dynamic host configuration protocol has been devised to provide static as well as dynamic address allocations. That is the thing. So it is backward compatible with the BOOTP, or it can do the static allocation at the same time it can perform the dynamic configuration also. So that is what makes it special, right? It can do both. So it can do it in a manual way or in an automatic way. We will see all this. Static and dynamic address allocation by DSCP. So first, the static allocation is just like what is done by BOOTP. So in this capacity, DSCP acts just like the BOOTP, right? So it is backward compatible with the BOOTP, of course, which means that the host running BOOTP client can request a static IP and DSCP server will reply back, right? So as it is run by BOOTP client, that we don't need BOOTP server. We can depend DSCP server. DSCP server is now ready to reply back to any BOOTP client. So that is the backward compatibility feature. So, and one more thing, I didn't note down, this is something we already discussed in the previous slide about that port address, right? Port number. If you look at BOOTP client and server, they are using port numbers like 67 and 68. I think for client it is 67, server it is 68. Please verify this. And when this BOOTP changed to DSCP, that DSCP is also using the same port number, right? So for DSCP's client and DSCP server also same thing is used, because at any time we will use anyone like a BOOTP or DSCP, and mostly we are trying to replace most of the network with DSCP, right? But anyway, we need any one of them, and both are means DSCP is particularly backward compatible with the BOOTP also. So we are depending the same port number for the BOOTP and DSCP protocol. We don't have to use something different. And now see dynamic address allocation part, which is what is specific to this DHCP protocol. Here the DHCP has a second database. The first database is keeping the static mapping, right? Now the second database is having a pool of available IP addresses, and out of them which is available, that will be allocated temporarily. So that is a way. So whenever that machine is moving from one network to another, something temporarily will be allocated and it can survive there, and after that it will be released. So this second database makes DHCP dynamic, right? So when DHCP client requests a temporary IP, so particularly so for permanent IP it will still depend the other one. The DHCP server goes to the pool of available or unused IP addresses and assign a particular IP address for a negotiable period of time. So it is not something permanent assignment. When DHCP client sends a request to DHCP server, it first checks its static database. So of course sometimes static assignment will be there. If that is the case, it will be available in the static database. If an entry with the requested physical address exists in the static database, the permanent IP address of the client is returned immediately. But in case on other hand, if the entry does not exist in the static database, right, if it is not there in the static database, so the first database, the server selects an IP address from the available pool, that is the second database maintained, and assign it to the client, and also add that entry into the dynamic database, of course. So like that it is maintaining that static address allocation and dynamic address allocation. And manual and automatic configuration of DHCP. So before that, the dynamic aspects of the DHCP is needed when a host moves. So for supporting mobility, we have to depend this DHCP protocol from network to network, or is connected and disconnected, right? From network, maybe like a subscriber, you are connected to a service provider and you are trying to disconnect, something like that. So in that situation, we are using is DHCP provides temporary IP addresses, and of course for limited time. The addresses assigned from a pool are temporary addresses only, and we have this DHCP server that issue the addresses, or it's the technical term is like the address is leased, say for a specific amount of time. So when the lease expires, of course a client is supposed to stop using that particular IP address, or it can try for a renewal, right? Renewing the lease. Server may agree or disagree with the renewal, of course, right? It's up to the server. Now manual and automatic configuration, so that is the main topic of discussion. One major problem with the BOOTP protocol is that the table mapping the IP address to the physical address need to be manually configured. So if you look at the BOOTP protocol, what we have is only manual configuration for the table, that static table. But if you look at DHCP, what they additionally added is the dynamic or the automatic configuration of the table also. This means that every time there is a change in the physical address, in case of BOOTP, whenever there is a change in the physical or the IP address, the administrator is supposed to do it manually. The administrator is supposed to do that modification manually. So that is a difficulty we are in. But if you look at DHCP, on other hand, it allows both manual and automatic, of course, as it is backward compatible. In case of some compatibility with the BOOTP, it will do that manual configuration, and of course what it's additionally added is the dynamic configuration. Static addresses are typically created manually, right? So for that you can depend on either BOOTP or DHCP, of course, and dynamic addresses are created automatically, of course. Right, thanks for watching. So with this I think something more is I thought of adding one more video for DHCP to give a more clarity on it. So with that we will wind up the end topic of discussion here. Thanks for watching.